Good morning and welcome to Valley Views. I'm your host, Glenn Edison. I'm certainly glad to have you, and we're thankful for our sponsors, BTC Fiber, and you can see our program on the BTC Fiber YouTube page as well as local cable channel 18. Today we have with us Mr. Howard Hatcher. Now he was actually the first chamber director here in Sequatchie County, but he's been around, done quite a few things. So, Mr. Hatcher, thank you for being with us today. We appreciate you being with us.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, good. Now, you've had a storied career. You first started off in your earlier career as Farmers Home Administration, had a storied career with them.
I did when I was 30 years old. I applied for a job with them, and they sent me to Livingston, Tennessee in 1965, and I trained up there for 20 months, and then they opened the Farmers Home office here in the community building in Dunlap, and I had 11 years as county supervisor with them here in Dunlap, and then I was promoted to district director and stayed in that position until 1999, so I had about 34 years with Farmers Home Administration.
And you have a lot of memories from that. You have.
Well, we did. We made about 100 housing loans a year in Sequatchie County and Bledsoe County, and all of these utility districts that are out on the mountain and up and down the valley were not here.
Right.
And we made loans made that possible. The Farmers Home Administration did, and also Sequatchie Haven 1 and 2 were financed by our office, and also the nursing home here. And of all the things I've done in my whole life, I'm more proud of that nursing home that opened in 1978, because elderly people like I am now had to go off to another county, if they needed a nursing home. And so we financed 60 beds, and then since that time, of course, 60 more beds have been added.
Right.
And it's really worked out well.
And it's a good facility. You got a lot of nice things going on there.
Yes, yes.
Well, I know shortly thereafter, after you retired from there, you became chamber director. What were some of the, I know being the first, sometimes you have to go through that rough period of figuring things out, and but you had a good career as a chamber director. You did a lot of good things.
I had, they appointed me in 1999. I started July the 1st, 1999, and they had a great board of directors, and they had organized it a year or two before that, and they had approached me before I retired about the job, but I wasn't ready to retire then for good reasons, and they waited on me about eight months, and so but they had it up and going, and they had a great board of directors, and of course the mayor and the county executive were on it, and Glenn Barker was a member of it, and they had about 12 different directors, but they had done a lot of good work and got it started and got the membership up. The membership was up maybe 165 or 70 at that time, and so we were ready to roll when I came in.
Well, that's good. And what are some of your memories from that? Some of your good memories from?
Well, there are many wonderful memories that I have of working with the chamber. We had quarterly membership meetings, and certainly they were good memories, and we would have about 150 people to attend those meetings. and we would get special speakers to come, and that was great. The different businesses would sponsor the meals, and the members would not. It wouldn't cost the members anything, and of course recruiting industry and trying to get good industries in town. The industrial park had opened about the time, the new industrial park had opened about the time that they hired me, and Sequatchie Electric owned that, but they asked the chamber to take the lead in recruiting industry and contacting the industry and that type of thing. And so we worked together. The mayor had certain responsibilities, the county executive had certain responsibilities, the chamber did, and so the chamber would do the legwork and make contacts, and then at the appropriate time the mayor would step forward, or the county executive, and of course they were the front people, because they were elected by the people. But we worked together, and each one of us had our job to do, just like playing football or basketball.
Yeah.
You pass the ball, and each team member knows what they're supposed to do, and not get in front of the other, or not to take the glory of things that happen, or not to blame anyone else if things go wrong.
Yeah.
And both of those things happen,
Yes.
They really do. But I guess the industry that I remember maybe more than any other as far as recruiting is concerned was some more tubing. That was a Japanese plant that came here, and of course we worked with the state of Tennessee, we worked with the development district, and all of these people, all of us worked together, and they sent out feelers, you might say, and they said they were looking at 3 or 4 places. That's the way it usually takes place.
Right.
And it took them a long time, but they finally announced that they would come, and they did come and built a facility up in the new industrial park. But they stayed. They were here several years, but when that Great Recession hit,
yeah.
man, they left us. But of course, we have other industries there now, and
Right.
things are still moving along.
Well, since we're talking about the chamber, maybe you explain to people why it's important to have a chamber.
Well, it's the contact for people coming into town, any town. They want to know something about the area, and so that's one of the first places they stop, and to get information. Where's a good place? What do you have to offer in town? They will ask, and where's a good motel, and where's a good place to eat, and who is hiring now, and those type of things. And so we really enjoyed those years that I was here. I was here 10 years, and then in 2009 I was 74 years old, and I thought I needed to retire before they wanted me to retire.
Yeah.
But it was a great run for 10 years with the chamber.
Well, I know now we brought a lot of business here, and now they're working on tourism, getting people to come in and spend their money and
Sure.
and
Yes,
have a good time here, so they can come back.
Yes. We always promoted that. I enjoy. We promoted a leadership class, and for the 10 years that I was here, and that was continued after I left. But we really enjoyed that. The leadership class consisted of about 15 people each year, and we had 12, I think, 10 or 12 sessions, and we would have a prominent person to come in and talk to the class each month that they met. And at one time it might be the mayor and county executive, and they talk about the leadership responsibilities that they had. We'd have other members of the county at the courthouse to come, and we'd have prominent people that in different positions. And once a year we would take the group to Nashville, and we would meet with the state, watch the state legislators in session, and there were a lot of good memories there. We'd spend a couple of nights down there, and it was very worthwhile, very worthwhile.
Well, and also just with my involvement with the chamber and things that have been going on, it also works to develop not only just the businesses in the area, but it helps develop people as well.
Sure.
That class you're talking about,
Yeah.
the leadership class, that
Sure.
that helps people maybe learn skills that maybe they didn't know, or
Exactly.
improve on skills that they have, but maybe not to like they'd like to have them.
Sure.
You know.
It was a big help, and we had some good people to go through there.
And we've grown, the city and county has grown in numbers, and we've got more new businesses, different types of businesses. And when you first were chamber director, there's a lot of different things coming in town.
Well, you know, there's something that has really changed. I moved my family here 53 years ago, and at that time, just about all of the businesses were privately owned, little shops up and down the streets here in Dunlap, and boy, that's all changed. It's all changed, and now it's just about all corporate stuff, you know. And but that's the times have changed. That's the way it is in all rural towns, you know. But we have to go with the change. But still, we have made progress. You move forward 2 steps, you go back 1, you know. And I will never forget. We had this campaign on to improve the downtown area of Dunlap, and a lot of new businesses came in, and new restaurants and that type of thing. Everything was humming along and going well, and all of a sudden, in about 2008, that Great Recession hit.
Yeah.
And boy, it really clobbered us well. We lost, restaurants. We lost high country. We lost some more tubing. We lost 2 car dealerships.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But better thing, some good things happened too. Just during that time, and Walmart announced that they were coming in, and then Walgreen came in, you know. So other good things happen, bad things happens, and good things happen. But that is life. That is life, and so. We just have to understand that we have to take the good with the bad.
That's true. That's true. Well, there have been a lot of things that changed. And one area I want to hit with you is not only were you with the Farmers Home Administration and Chamber Director, but you're also an author. You've done some writing, and I know you're. How many books have you written now? Have you written two?
Two. I wrote two books. One was Granddad Tell Me a Story, and that was about my memories of growing up and some of the interesting things that have taken a part in my life, and the other book was you might say was a continuation of that, and I really enjoyed that. Most of my books were sold in this county and in the county where I grew up. I grew up in Williamson County, Franklin, Tennessee, right outside of Franklin, on a farm, and so it sold about. I didn't write the books to make money because you have to do that on a large scale. But I sold, I guess, around 1,000 books, each one of them, and had a lot of fun doing it. That was after I retired from the chamber,
Right.
So that was a pastime for me, but it was nice. On the Granddad Tell Me a Story, on the front of the book was a picture of my 5-year-old granddaughter, and we were sitting out in the front yard, and I was telling her a story, and so that little granddaughter now has gone off to UT. She's a freshman at UT this year, so time goes by,
Times go by.
Yeah.
You probably have some more stories to tell later, huh?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Well, I know that's. I know a lot of things that I write sometimes are reflections of past. And,
Sure.
And it's a way of getting thoughts down. It just takes time.
Sure.
Yeah. I enjoyed my writing. I know I've enjoyed yours as well. Now that you've retired 2 or 3 times, how do you spend your time now?
Well, I get up every morning about 6:30, have breakfast, and go out and get my paper.
Yeah.
And then the Times Free Press. I read that, and then by that time the mail has come, so I go get my mail. And then by that time it's getting close to lunch, and eat lunch, and take a nap. And so I have some health issues now, but I'm 86 years old. And if anybody has ever been blessed, I've been blessed. I take a walk every morning. I take a walk every afternoon about sundown, and so I have no complaints. I feel good, really. Feel pretty good.
I know you've been also very active in your church, and
yes, I have. I go to the Methodist Church here, and I've held about every position there in the church. I've taught Sunday school classes for all the 53 years, most of the 53 years that I've been here. I've worked with the youth a great deal. We had 3 children, and the oldest one had cerebral palsy. Passed away at 27, but the other 2 taught school, and they married local boys, and they live here in town. So we've been blessed in that way. I do want to mention some of the highlights, just hurriedly, that for the chamber, and I wrote these down where. And I wrote an article every week.
Right.
And I did that for 10 years, and it went in the paper but it's a good it's good documentation as to what went on, and so I went through that a little bit and picked out some things that we did. Some more tubing was announced. Their $25 million plant in October of 2000. A new bowling alley was announced 11/16 in 2000. We got the new street lights in 2003 out here, and I had worked with Farmers Home Administration, and I was able to get them to give us a grant for those street lights there, and of course they're still shining. And then we sold bricks to go under those street lights, and that was a successful. And then Manoj Patel and his wife announced that they would build a motel up here in 2005, and then Walmart announced that they would come to Dunlap in December of 2005, and I think it was July that year that they opened. Walgreen opened in 2008. Tecumseh closed their plant during that Great Recession, and it was in 2008. And boy, oh boy, we hated that Bill Edwards there. Bill Edwards was such a great promoter of this chamber, and he was on that first board. And I'll tell you what, we hated to see that go. In 2009, the employment rate here was over 12% now, and it stayed over 12% for 2 or 3 years. And I announced my retirement in August the 31st in 2009, and then Winston Pickett took over. But that was some of the highlights that, as I went through all of the news articles that I had done, and it took me so long to go through my first 3 years. I skipped along, but it was a great 10 years though. It was a great run. I just had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun doing it, and met so many people. You had to. I remember we had Senator Frist here for breakfast one morning, and we had breakfast fixed, and we went in had it in our meeting room here in the chamber, and meeting people like that is a great experience. It sure was.
Well, what would you tell people that are new to the area that they're looking at maybe a chamber membership? You'd encourage them to join?
Well, I think it's the best deal in town because, as far as I know, it's still $25 a year for individual membership, and they have three meetings a year, and you get four meetings a year, and you get 4 meals for $25. If you didn't get anything else out of your membership, you'd be doing well there. Of course, for businesses, it is more than that. But it's the community coming together and working together and celebrating together, and at times grieving together.
Right.
Because you do a little of both in life, and so I've always, I think any person can be proud of the membership in the Chamber of Commerce.
Well, it's like you said, it's you get to know people too.
Sure you do.
There's I know I've met people that that I didn't know.
Sure.
And or some people I'd heard their name, maybe they were in a business, but I'd never met them.
Right.
So I get to meet them and talk to them, and
Sure.
you build relationships.
Sure you do. Sure you do. And that is important when you're trying to get something done. You've got to have support. You've got to have support. If you go out on a limb by yourself, you'll get stranded out there if you're not careful.
That's very true. That's very true. Well, with that, you have people like you say that can have support and that help you. You're not the only one doing all the work. And,
right.
Because if you're doing all the work, you get tired real quick.
Sure.
And I know the chamber has done a lot of things in the community. Worked at the coke ovens and other things that are going on, the 4th of July and just different things.
Oh, the 4th of July, we would open it up and for the elderly to come in where we had the air conditioning in the restrooms here, and we invited the elderly to come in and watch the parade go by, and that was something that we were proud to do, and it's just different things like that we remember.
Yeah, I know that's still being done, and it's
Sure.
a good thing. And I know I sweat pretty good when I'm out there filming sometimes.
Yeah. One other thing that we worked real close with the schools,
Uh-huh.
and that was a lot of fun. We'd have groups to come in here at the chamber, and we'd talk about what the chamber did, and then we'd go down there and talk with the schools, and they were proud of the chamber, and we were proud of the schools. When people would come in and asking about the community, that'd be one of the first things we would talk about.
Right.
We got all of our schools here on one campus, and as far as our campus is concerned, we're proud of it. We can put it up against any of them.
Yes, we sure
It
can.
looks good. It looks good. It's something we can really be proud of, and they were good to us, and we tried our best to be good to the schools. And like I say, my two daughters teach in this school system, and we're glad they do. We're glad they do.
Well, I know, as you mentioned, three things people ask about when they come in are the schools, fire and police, and healthcare.
Sure, yes,
That's the three main things they're interested in.
Yes, we had the emergency room. We lost the emergency room. Then we got our emergency room back. But the health facilities are really important to people. If they get sick, they want to know that there's something close by that they can depend on.
Right.
So.
Because before, everybody was having to trip over the mountain.
Sure.
And when we had a county ambulance service, and that's the only thing they could do is take them over the mountain.
Sure. That's correct. That's correct.
That's good to have.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you'd like to add to our interview today, Mr. Hatcher?
No, it's been a great pleasure to live here in this county for 53 years, and I worked locally most of that time, but for 21 years of that time I was district director with the Farmers Home Administration, and I worked all over southeast Tennessee. But it's, in each of these jobs it was helping people.
Uh-huh.
And there's not anything that will give you more pleasure in life than knowing that you're helping people. And when I was with the government, well, we had the financial backing to do that,
Uh-huh.
to lay water lines, to build apartment houses, to build homes, to make loans to farmers, you know, and that type of thing. And then with the chamber, they're doing all of these things that we've been talking about. And so I was just glad to move here. When they told me I was coming to Dunlap, I asked them where Dunlap was. You know?
Yeah.
And I thought I'd be here about 2 years. But but I'm still here after 53 years. And I don't plan on moving anytime soon.
No, we wouldn't want you to anyway.
Yeah.
We want you to stay here.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly appreciate your time today. And folks, remember, you can catch us on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as BTC Fiber's Channel 18. So until next time, we'll see you then. Hey everybody, this is Glenn Edison from Valley Views. We appreciate you watching our shows, and we would like for you to like, share, and follow us on Facebook, as well as like and subscribe to our YouTube page.
Brought to you by Bledsoe Telephone Cooperative, your full-service telecommunications provider right here in the Sequatchie Valley.